Hey, this is Joseph. I just wanted to show off one of the coolest things I've worked on so far. And for once, it isn't related to VR or MetaQuest or Apple Vision Pro, but is actually a developer tool for FileMaker developers. It is called FMLayoutLens. It is part of the FMPerception suite of products, but FMLayoutLens is free for everybody to go try out. It is currently in early access, and in some ways very early access. We have a lot of things to figure out yet, but there's a working version for you to go and try if you're a FileMaker developer. If you're not, I just still think you should check it out just to see what what we're building with BabylonJS and VueJS as a desktop application. So, brief overview, FileMaker is a kind of a low-code development environment that doesn't really do it justice. You can actually build pretty incredible things with it. So I'm not going to do a whole tour on FileMaker for this video, but this tool focuses mainly on layout analysis. So layouts in FileMaker have kind of a WYSIWYG editor where you can drag objects out of the toolbar onto the layout, position them, size them, style them, point them at database schema, create relationships, do conditional hiding, all this kind of stuff that you would expect from a UI framework, only it's all just kind of built in a visual editor. This far predates most of the low-code tools that are in vogue nowadays. FileMaker has been around in various forms for, I think, 40 years, maybe close to 40 years, if not over 40 years. So this tool is a layout analysis tool, and one thing we can do with FileMaker layout objects is copy and paste them between layouts or copy and paste objects on a layout. We are using that feature, so when you copy a FileMaker layout, it throws it onto your clipboard, and we are using that clipboard data to generate some analysis data. So I copied all of that layout. I can paste it into our app called FMLayoutLens, and we have this simple app. It can only get information that was on the clipboard, so it doesn't know the full schema of the database or anything like that. It just knows what was on the clipboard, but we can do some pretty cool stuff with it. So we have this kind of split view design. We've got a tree view on the side that will actually show objects in the same order they appear in the sidebar in FileMaker. We've got this table view at the bottom to kind of quickly sort by various bits of data and figure out what has browse mode enabled, what has find mode enabled, things like that. Find out what has quick find or is non-printing. And then we've also got this 3D region to do kind of a mock-up visualization of the layout. And this is the part that has been really fun to work on. This is all built in BabylonJS, and basically we take the layout data from the back end. All this is kind of extrapolated with C#, and then Dave sends that to me on the front end in the web view as a giant JSON payload, and I can turn that into shapes to render in BabylonJS. And we have some basic object selections, so the camera will kind of move around as I select on different things. You'll also notice that the other two views are in sync as we do that as well, and the detail section populates as we select. We also have the ability to turn off auto selection, so if you wanted to keep the camera in one spot and select several different objects, you can do that, but you could still double click to move the camera if you wanted to refocus it. We've got orthographic mode on by default with some basic zoom in and zoom out with the trackpad and scroll wheel. And we also have a perspective camera, which feels a little bit more fluid. This is using the BabylonJS arc rotate camera, and it feels a bit better in perspective mode, but sometimes it can be hard to view the data, to view some of the stuff, particularly on really compact layouts when you're in perspective mode. The other thing we can do is increase the depth between objects. So we've got just kind of by default kind of an assumption-based approach, but if you have hundreds or maybe 1,000 layout objects on your layout, they may be stacked way too close together by default, so you can use this to kind of space them out. And we even have a way to modify that spacer as well. So if this value isn't enough for you, you want to set that higher or set it lower. you can do that as well. So that is just kind of a brief overview of FMLayoutLens. Like I said, this is very much an early access tool. I'm working on a lot of really cool stuff with it throughout the rest of this year. But I just wanted to show it off because I don't get to show off my consulting work very often. But this is one that actually made it out as a public product. So hope you think it's cool. Thanks.